Digimon is on a generational winning streak here in 2025. The newest anime Beatbreak rules. Time Stranger is the best Digimon game in at least a decade. Beatbreak is getting an English dub. Digimon ads are up at Times Square, and we're ending the year with the rollout of new Digivolutions in the anime. In this video, we'll be breaking down and reviewing Digimon Beatbreak episodes 9 through 12 in an effort to explain why this show is already one of the most interesting seasons. Welcome back to the DigiKnow, where we talk nostalgic anime like Digimon, Metabots, and occasionally newer stuff. Speaking of newer stuff, I released a retrospective on My Hero Academia last week, seeing as that anime just concluded. Maybe give that a watch after this. Also look into my anime-inspired book, Monster Revolution. It's my take on the monster tamer genre. Could be a nice gift for a fan of Digimon, Pokemon, or for yourself. I'll share links below, including a 25-minute audio sample. For now, let's Beatbreak. Episode 9 and 10, Utopia and A True Friend, are definitely two-parters. It's nothing new for anime, obviously, but given the strictly episodic nature of recent Digimon seasons, Ghost Game and 2020 before it, it's refreshing and freeing. We can tell more ambitious stories that need more than 22 minutes to tell. Case in point, 9 and 10 are the story of Makoto's past, his life inside the Shangri-La egg before becoming a bounty hunter, and the people he knew there. We're first introduced to father and daughter bounty hunters, or cleaners, Sunny and Haruko Yamada. The Yamadas play the game in hopes of getting back into the Shangri-La, this paradise in the center of the slums for nobles and aristocrats only. Sunny and his daughter were kicked out of heaven, and now they're dogs of the ministry, doing dirty work in hopes of being welcomed back in. We learn in 9 that Makoto, the youngest and best dressed member of Glowing Dawn, was born in the egg. Quote, "The prince of the Kuonji family. How sad you lost it all because of that Digimon." Digimon in this series seem to double as a metaphor for standing out, for breaking the rules. The only people we see with Digimon in Beatbreak are outcasts and those who break the norms of polite, governed society. Makoto, while living in paradise, suddenly had a Digimon spawn and was punished for it, forced to leave the Shangri-La life. I think this whole scenario is rich in symbolism. A boy entering teenage years awakens a part of him that he didn't understand and that society rejects, having to choose, will he suppress it to be welcomed by his family and community, or accept this part of him and be ostracized. Beatbreak proves that it is more than wacky monsters transforming to punch each other. Haruko and Sunny want Makoto's monster, Chiropmon, for themselves. They don't believe in partnership. To them, Digimon are tools. They can and should be transferable, with the strongest tamers deserving a collection of the strongest Digimon. Haruko makes off with Chiropmon. She tells the poor monster that it's your fault Makoto was kicked out of the egg, that you're holding back Makoto from a happy and safe life. You can imagine Chiropmon might actually be persuaded by this line of reasoning. The guilt is probably something the little monster has dealt with before. Would Makoto be better off if I was never born? In 10, A True Friend, Chiropmon is gone, taken by Haruko and Sunny. Makoto is partnerless. We learn that while the Yamadas do collect bounties to win the favor of the government, they mostly hand in weak and uninteresting monsters. When they encounter a Digimon that is truly unique, they will secretly sell the mon to the highest bidder on the black market. Unbeknownst to Haruko, this is Sunny's plan for Chiropmon. There's this great bit where Haruko tries to feed Chiropmon her e-pulse, because Digimon draw power from human life force in this series. Like a picky or sick animal, Chiropmon won't accept, won't bite her hand, even though he needs the sustenance to live. It's this great sequence that proves Makoto was right. Chiropmon is his partner. We discover that Sunny, the father, is an absolute deplorable when it's revealed he wants to sell Chiropmon for one Sapotama fake, which is the Beatbreak equivalent of a fake ID and a clean criminal record. This dude is planning to abandon his daughter for a hard reset. It becomes clear in a tragic bit of irony that how Haruko has been perceiving and treating Digimon is how Sunny sees her. Not a partner, not family, not even a responsibility, but a tool to be discarded when you're done with it. Haruko has the best crash out of Beatbreak so far, fusing with her Shademon in a way that resembles the manga-exclusive Shademon Nene version, as Karn EX pointed out. Discussion of this hybrid fusion form could warrant its own video, honestly. Just what are we dealing with here? The episode doesn't spend too much time explaining it, leaving us to wonder if this was just a reference to a niche manga design or the tease for something that'll resurface later. Haruko accepts that Shademon is her, a reflection of her soul, and always has been. Makoto preached a similar philosophy about him and Chiropmon, only Haruko's soul is dark and ugly, at least according to her. She hates what she is, what lies in her heart. In response, Makoto, who is trying to save her while Chiropmon is still under Shademon's control, yells to Haruko, It doesn't matter if you're twisted or weak. I can never say what I want to. I don't have the strength to fight like everyone else. Just like Chiropmon. Chiropmon shows how weak and twisted I can be, but I love Chiropmon as they are. Here, Beatbreak has done something beautiful with its Digimon are reflections of their partner's soul thesis. Having a character achieving self-love through loving their Digimon, a reflection of them, is brilliant. This is, in my opinion, Beatbreak's greatest writing accomplishment thus far. With this proclamation of acceptance, we get Chiropmon's first evolution into NightChiropmon. While the animation sequence could have been stronger, the audio work here is great, borrowing the opening riff of Braveheart from Digimon Adventure and slapping it onto the Beatbreak theme. This great new monster design protects Makoto in the final act. The Haruko Shademon tries to land a finishing blow on her enemies, but the Shademon part of her refuses to let Haruko hurt Makoto. The Digimon won't allow her to do something she'll regret. It's lovely and proves that she was wrong about her soul being nothing but ugliness. There is the capacity for kindness and love inside Haruko, as Shademon, her reflection, just proved. The fighting ends, well, the Digimon fighting ends. We almost get a new member of Glowing Dawn when Kyo tells Haruko, if you still want to be a cleaner, you can join us. But she declines, instead deciding to search the world for her mother. It's a perfect ending for her story, but darn, we almost had a new tamer on the team. I think we would have got an inferior Chiropmon evolution reveal on a story level and emotional level if you tried to do this at like episode 4 or 5 for instance. Yes, the waiting can be tough, but the payoff is so worth it when the storytelling setup is there. Beatbreak 11 and 12 are another pair of episodes, a bit of a relapse, a step back in Tomoro and Gekkomon's development, at least in episode 11, but one that feels organic and real. People aren't perfect. 2 steps forward, 1 step back and all that jazz. Tomoro wants to buy his comatose brother Asuka a birthday present. He remembers that back when their parents were taken away by the Ministry of Protection, his brother made him feel like things would be okay by wrapping him in a plain red scarf. Tomoro decides that'll be the gift he gets Asuka, except Gekkomon, not understanding what I just told you about the significance of the red scarf, insists another color and pattern would be superior. Tomoro takes offense to this, they fight, and they ruin the scarf. Gekkomon storms out while the others return to base without the little lizard. When a Raremon sighting requires the Glowing Dawn cleaners to act, they reunite with Gekkomon, though all is not forgiven. Tomoro is still upset, and Gekkomon is working overtime to prove he can be useful. Tomoro snaps, yelling, "I never asked for any of this, I just wish you were never born." As we know, the Mon is influenced by Tomoro's emotion, and here, it seems Tomoro's rage overtakes Gekkomon. He goes on a dangerous rampage that is stopped not by any Glowing Dawn member, but by the mysterious Kaito, the first of the 5 stars. Accompanied by an absurdly powerful Flaremon that one-shots the Raremon, Kaito insults Kyo for how weak he's let himself become, before revealing that Kyo was once a member of the 5 stars. As a reminder, they are the highest-ranking bounty hunters that work directly with the government, the Digimon equivalent of the 7 warlords in One Piece. Kaito's Flaremon tries to end Gekkomon when Kyo's partner Murasamemon takes a massive, explosive hit for Gekkomon. He minimizes what could have been a deadly inferno, Murasamemon is down, and Gekkomon reverts to his baby form, Gekkomon. Ghost Game and Adventure 2020 never really showed the partner Digimon in the pre-rookie stages. As such, it's a nice surprise seeing this teeny tiny Gekkomon in official animation. I saw a post online where someone was saying Tomoro is a disaster writing-wise because he and Gekkomon had a bad week here in 11. While I agree that it was hard to watch those two this week, I don't believe this is bad writing. They had been slowly connecting, but in 11, Tomoro had a relapse caused by miscommunication. Gekkomon was blind to the Asuka situation. Tomoro failed to communicate his needs, why he wanted to go to the hospital alone, why he wanted the red scarf, not any other color. This all felt true to life. I think most of our interpersonal issues come from miscommunication. I can concede that Gekkomon was a bit much in episode 11, but his hyper energy also felt true to life for what is essentially a child that doesn't understand adult problems. It's also easy to imagine that Gekkomon is probably feeling insecure right about now, having a bit of an identity crisis, with the other Digimon in Glowing Dawn all having access to champion evolutions now. Gekkomon is desperately trying to add value to the group and took things too far, and it's all set up for episode 12. In a new family, we finally get the Gekkomon champion evolution we've been waiting 12 weeks for. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Gekkomon, the TheDigivolved form, is ashamed after last week's fumble. We get an incredible flashback to 11 years ago when Kyo was an up-and-coming cleaner. We see how he was recruited into the Gold Stars, how he accepted the role not for money but simply to experience more combat. We don't see his exit years later, but we learn 2 things about it. One, that he left after discovering the World Union, the world's largest corporate cartel that develops and handles Sapotama, were secretly the ones pulling the strings behind the Ministry of Protection. Second, his leaving resulted in some intense scarring on his neck and chest that I assume we'll learn more about in a future episode. I want more from this Kyo flashback timeline, but we've got more to discuss this week. The Glowing Dawn leader offers Tomura an out after the traumatic events of the past few weeks. He says he'll take care of Gekkomon. We've seen Kyo is willing and capable of caring for multiple stray Digimon, so it's not even an unrealistic offer. Tomura steps away to clear his head, not officially exiting but not staying in Glowing Dawn either. Gekkomon is avoiding a conversation with his partner despite beginning to starve without Tomura's E-Pulse. A giant Digimon is heading towards Glowing Dawn HQ. Marine Bullmon's E-Pulse is overloading. As Kyo describes it, quote, "Someone must have forced excessive E-Pulse into it, driving it berserk." In my notes, I just wrote, yo. Beatbreak knows how to take an already compelling concept, in this case E-Pulse, and then stretch it, morph it, and make it even more interesting. Gekkomon puts his ego aside and seeks out Tomura to let him know the others are in danger. Tomura realizes the way he's been treating Gekkomon, not sharing important info, treating him like a burden, is probably resulting in Gekkomon feeling useless like his brother Asuka used to make him feel at their lowest. Now confronting Marine Bullmon, Tomura confesses, quote, "Being with you reminds me of everything I hate about myself, but it's not all bad. Thanks to you, I met Glowing Dawn, and when I'm with you, I feel like I can be more honest with myself. I'm glad I met you." We then get a new needle drop, a new evolution theme as Gekkomon transforms to ArmaLizamon, a brand new champion that miraculously was not leaked or teased ahead of time. I am still in awe that Toei and Digimon managed to keep this form under wraps. They are usually so eager to spoil transformations in the openings, in toys, in key art or trailers. I still haven't forgiven them for showing Gogeta Blue like 2 days before the Broly movie released. Safe to say, this new form is not what most were probably expecting, except for the one guy who commented on my post saying, "I hope it's Gekkomon with some kind of armor, like an armor evolution." You kinda nailed it. I'm digging this. In terms of recent champion Digimon, it's perhaps closest to Wezen Gamamon, at least more Wezen than Betel or Kaus Gamamon, though bipedal like those two. He's an absolute unit and takes down the kaiju attacking their home. The next day, Tomura introduces Gekkomon to his comatose bro, saying, quote, "This is Gekkomon, our newest family member." In the final few minutes, we also learn that Kaneda, the new Gold Star, presumably who took the job after Kyo walked away, is the one responsible for the E-Pulse overdose incident. And next episode, we'll be getting a meeting of the 5 stars. Between the stars revealing themselves, new champions unlocking, and a third thing I'll talk about in a second, Beatbreak is kicking into high gear. If you thought Digimon was going to slow down after an unbelievable 2025, then think again. The same night that this episode premiered, we got a teaser trailer and key art for a new storyline, the Tactics arc, with the tagline "Perfection versus Freedom." Brand new characters who look like they could be the heroes of a whole other Digimon season are gathering to face off against Glowing Dawn, all while the 5 stars appear to be assembling to address their concern over Digivolution. After Adventure 2020 and Ghost Game featured sort of meandering stories, mostly Monster of the Week, hearing the words Digimon and Arc in the same sentence again is thrilling. Beatbreak is just getting started, the world and the lore continue to surprise, and I can't wait for Arc 2. I can't believe we're talking about Digimon arcs again. But what did you think of episode 12, of ArmaLizamon, of NightChiropmon, and this batch of episodes? Whatever's on your mind, write about it in the comments. I'll be reading your Beatbreak thoughts all week. What a show, what a time to be a Digimon fan. Remember to subscribe if you liked this one, check out some of my other videos, and look into my book if that interested you. Take care, happy holidays, and see you in the next video. If you're still watching, you probably enjoy my takes on 2000s era anime, and so you might like my original novel, Dot Monster Revolution. It's over 200 pages of monster taming adventures inspired by anime like Digimon, Monster Rancher, Metabots, etc. It's on Kindle and Kobo. You can get it digital for $10 or $20 for the physical paperback edition. A ton of great reviews so far, and it really is my love letter to this genre that we grew up with. I'll put links to where you can read the first 20 pages and pick it up if you're interested.